Deshaun Carter, we live in scary times.
It it yeah, if you're paying attention, right? Uh Ignorance is bliss, right? But if you're paying attention to what's going on, you're probably not sleeping really well. I I wonder about the companies that are handling my money, the companies that are handling my personal information, my health information. I I worry if they are taking care, if they're aware of all this. Uh, because yeah, it is. If you're aware of what's going on, you might not be sleeping so well.
I know that you have been working very closely with the upcoming release of Spring Application Advisor, and you've been very excited by what you've seen.
I'm over the top. So first of all, if you're an enterprise that is using Spring, you're in good company, right? There's a few 100,000 enterprises that have built themselves on top of Spring. Things that we took to production yesterday or yesteryear, they need care and feeding, right? And this has to be a continuous process. Software is software for a reason, so that we can take care of it, so we can move it forward.
So walk me through this here. I'm working with a customer, okay, and they're familiar with kind of the baseline capabilities of App Advisor, which is to say, hey, I can take App Advisor, I can walk the dependency graph of my application. I can create a model and understand what needs to be upgraded here. And then if I want to, I can talk to App Advisor and I
Mhm.
can say, hey, show me what an upgrade plan would look like for this application. And this here happens to be a build of Spring Pet Clinic. It's running Spring Boot 3.4. And
Okay.
App Advisor is going to tell me, hey, we've got a whole upgrade plan here that's kind of centered around upgrading you from a Spring Boot, 3.4 to later versions. Here, we'll get you up to 4.1.x, and along the way, you'll get security patches and go on. And my customer says, well, okay, that's cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
But not all of my teams are ready to upgrade. We may have a long regression testing cycle
Mhm.
with regards to these upgrades. We may have transitive dependencies in older libraries that are preventing us from upgrade.
Mhm.
Uh, but we want to get fixed now.
I get it. I get
We,
it.
we
So
need
first,
security patches.
the advisor tool, the first step, that build config get, we captured some information, including a software bill of materials in Cyclone DX format. And this idea, sometimes customers haven't grasped that concept yet, that software bill of materials. The advisor tool has helped us bring that concept to developers so they can understand it's not just what's in the POM file, it's all the things that each one of those dependencies is pulling in as well. But again, they might not want to upgrade. They have to stay on this version. And there's all the third-party dependencies, all the open source third-party dependencies, but there's also their internal dependencies, their internal common utils or common security that they've built, their libraries, their frameworks. I want that same advisor magic, but I want to stay on Spring Boot 2.7. I've been given, for the last minor of every major, the Spring team has added this extended support, this LTS support for all the projects. Each project has its own calendar of support, but for Spring Boot, for example, 2.7 got 6 years of extended support of LTS support. 3.5 also gets 6 years. So yeah, if I want to stay on one of those LTS releases, I can. And now we made it even easier with this advisor patch apply. So what it's
Wait,
going to
wait,
do is,
wait. You see, all I have to do is advisor, patch, apply.
yes, that's it. What it's going to do, it's going to look and be aware of those top level. If it's a Spring project, it'll stay on that Spring version. If it's a Spring Boot project, it'll stay on that Spring Boot project, like this one 3.4. And it's going to say, I know all of those third party dependencies. I know all the downstream dependencies, and it's going to go ahead and manage just the patch version. It'll look and make sure that we don't change generations of third party dependencies. It'll stay just on the latest patch version, and it'll pin those versions in case the new Spring Boot version hasn't captured that latest Netty CVE, for example. I can pin that Netty version, and then when the next Spring Boot version comes along, it'll actually unpin the version. They don't want to wait for a day or a week for the new Spring Boot version. They want, as soon as the CVE comes down, they want to get it patched. And it doesn't matter the severity. So when a new CVE shows up, we want to patch it as fast as possible. This makes it possible. It looks at the
So my
software bill
my
of materials.
customer now, yeah, I talk to them and say, you've got the engineering team hard at work. They are working with the people who file the security advisories. They know what CVEs are about to be published. They validate these patches with the security researchers. And then they're going to be, we've got an upcoming release real soon. These patch releases are available in the private repository before the CVE is
Yes.
published. It's a day zero patch. And here comes my advisor patch apply. So what happened here? We got my Spring Boot, and Deshaun is showing all these funny version numbers here. It goes from 3.4.2 to 3.4.17.1.
So for Spring Boot, when you have commercial support, you're getting the latest version where 3.4 is no longer in open source support. So these versions only exist in the Spring Enterprise repository. And what does that mean? Well, that means for our commercial customers, they can continue to get patches long after the open source support has ended. And these versions, the .1 versions, those we'll call a hot fix, where there's only a CVE. That's the only fix. There's no other third-party dependencies changing in that bill of materials. It's only the necessary fixes to fix a security issue. And that's it. No other bug fixes are included.
So
And
they're just getting this security patch hot off the presses,
yes,
ready to address this piece here. This is 3.4.17.1, I see, of Spring Boot. And this is what it's packaging, is a Spring security upgrade to 6.4.18. And if I go to 6.4.18 of Spring Security, I can see that it is fixing this CVE.
just the
So we
CVE.
have a CVE with unauthorized user permissions, recently released as part of the vulnerability scanning done by advanced security models, something that hackers can probably engineer a day one attack using these security tools.
Yes.
But if you have a day zero patch in place, then you're in a pretty good situation, aren't you?
Yeah, this idea is we understand that customers have regression testing. One of the things with this 3.4.17.1, that example is saying that it's only a security fix. There's no other bug changes or things that are in there. It's just security changes. So for some customers, that gives them the opportunity to have a hot path, a fast path to production because it's just a security fix. We don't have to do as much regression, or we can choose to not do as much regression testing because it's just a security fix. So that's benefit one. The other benefit is, as always, we always release the patch before we release the CVEs. That's been a part of our process. That's responsible disclosure, that we're always going to put a patch first. So when a CVE gets published by the Spring team, there's always going to be a fixed version. And that fixed version might be in OSS, it might be in Enterprise, but either way, a lot of the issues that we're finding, they existed for a long time. So they're going to show up in multiple versions. But we have our list of supported versions, and we'll put those patches, make those available for those supported versions, whether they OSS or Enterprise. And what we've done is for our commercial customers, instead of having it on the same day, we've made it so that we get a little bit more uh, headway, a little bit more advanced notice where you're getting the security fixes days in front of the CVEs being published.
This is an absolutely fantastic story for customers. They get the ability, no matter how fast or how slow their teams are going, to be able to ingest these patches and apply them at scale. Provides incredible peace of mind. Thank you so much for helping to tell this story, Deshaun.
Absolutely, anytime. It's my pleasure.